Africa Investor Today is proudly brought to you in association with Petro SA and Afrexim Bank.
Good day and a warm welcome to Africa Investor, where we bring you all the latest African business news. I'm Zylan. We begin today with politics and economy. A long-delayed presidential election in Côte d'Ivoire is being pushed back again. President Laurent Gbagbo has announced that the vote set for November 29 will have to be postponed because more adjustments to the electoral list are needed. The long-expected and much-delayed vote is meant to put a formal end to the hostilities that ripped apart one of Africa's most affluent countries. President Jacob Zuma will hold talks with his Namibian counterpart, President Hifikepunye Pohamba, in Pretoria today. The meeting between the two leaders will present the opportunity to assess progress in the implementation of milestone regional projects such as the Trans-Kalahari Rail Initiative and the Trans-Kanune Corridor, which involves South Africa, Namibia and Angola. A statement from the president said Zuma would be supported by the International Relations and Cooperation Minister Maite Nkoana Mashibane, 9 government ministers and senior officials from various departments. Zimbabwe's neighbors on Monday intensified efforts to break an impasse threatening a fragile unity government as Congolese leader Joseph Kabila met with feuding leaders and a new summit was set for this week. Prime Minister Morgan Tsvangirai suspended cooperation with long-ruling President Robert Mugabe more than 2 weeks ago, accusing the 85-year-old leader of failing to live up to his side of Zimbabwe's power-sharing deal. The deadlock has heightened fears about the fate of the Unity Accord, which was meant to end deadly political violence that erupted after last year's failed presidential elections. You're watching Africa Investor Today. Stay with us after this.
Redefining energy means redefining life. At the Petroleum, Oil and Gas Corporation of South Africa, our commitment to greater innovation and greener fuels has made us pioneers in the field of gas-to-liquids technology. It has also earned us worldwide recognition for producing the cleanest fuels through environmentally friendly processes. That's how we've become the international leader in diesel technology. Through pure innovation, pure energy, pure brilliance.
Now on to companies and markets. MTN Group Limited, the South African mobile phone operator that abandoned a $23 billion bid to tie up with India's Bharti Airtel Limited, will seek partnership or acquisitions in Asia to boost earnings as growth slows down at home. MTN, with operations in 21 countries from South Africa and Nigeria to Iran and Afghanistan, disengaged from 4 months of merger talks with Bharti on September the 30th. With about 75% of its profit derived from 4 countries, Africa's largest mobile phone operator is seeking new markets to add customers that will help extend the growth that has more than tripled MTN's market value in the past 5 years. Apparently, the transaction with Bharti was very complex, with the companies unable to overcome regulatory hurdles in India and South Africa or resolve commercial issues. Mediatel, Morocco's second biggest telecoms firm, has the know-how to grow on its own after recent loss of 2 major European investors. Spanish peer Telefonica and Portugal Telecom both sold a 32.2% stake that had owned in Mediatel since its launch 10 years ago. The North African country's privately owned Financecom and biggest state fund CDG now equally own Mediatel after buying the 2 stakes for $1.15 billion in September. The sell-off prompted analysts to ask whether Mediatel would be able to cope with the fierce competition without the backing of a foreign operator. We'll be back after this break. Stay with us.
Afrexim Bank is Africa's leading trade finance bank, an organization dedicated to promoting African trade through credit, risk-bearing and advisory services. We pride ourselves on having local presence throughout the continent and are committed to extending our award-winning trade and project finance programs to unlock private sector development continent-wide. We invite you to become a part of our vision for a strong Africa in a changing world. If you trade within Africa, contact us to support you.
On to banking and finance news now. The process of filling vacant top positions at Absa is apparently at a sensitive stage. The most important positions that need to be filled are those of Chief Financial Officer to replace Jacques Schindenhitzer, that of Chairperson to step into the shoes of Jill Marcus. Other important announcements are expected, including a new Public Relations and Human Resources executives. Absa's 10-member executive committee has lost 4 members since the end of last year. An analyst says that the resignations in the period are among the reasons why Absa currently has the lowest rating of the 4 big banks on the JSE. Kenya's largest bank by assets, Kenya Commercial Bank, said on Thursday its pre-tax profit for the first 9 months of 2009 was 4.951 billion shillings or $65.8 million, up from 4.796 billion last year. The bank, which also is known as KCB, said net interest income rose to 9.396 billion shillings from 7.219 billion shillings in the same period of 2008 for the Kenyan bank. For the group, net interest income rose 10.91 billion shillings, up from 8.05 billion in the same period last year. KCB's operations span the region with branches in Tanzania, Uganda, Sudan and Rwanda. Its management is aiming for a pan-African reach in the years ahead. We'll be back after this. Stay with us.
Africa Investor, the leading African investment magazine, is essential reading for investors in Africa, filled with the very latest in Pan-African investment and finance news. In addition, log on to africa-investor.com to find out more about our exciting capital market, infrastructure and tourism events, and our long-standing investable Africa Investor 100 Index series, which tracks over $600 billion of African equities. Doing business in Africa, you can't afford to be without Africa Investor.
Finally, in infrastructure news now, River State's House of Assembly has once again lamented the deplorable state of roads in the state. The lawmakers therefore ordered the State Ministry of Works to urgently repair the roads and save the lives of the people. A member representing Azuri Toro constituency, the second, said that last week he has spent over 10 hours on the Port Harcourt-Abu Express Road due to the bad road. A journey, he said, would have ordinarily taken him 10 minutes to his office took 10 hours. He therefore urged the Commissioner for Works, Mr. Dakuku Pieterside, to address the problems of bad roads. Bridging the digital divide within the African continent and the entire world has come under the spotlight at the African Union Communication Ministerial Conference. The 4-day conference, which kicked off yesterday, will provide an opportunity as well as a platform to explore ways of harnessing information communication and technology for socio-economic development in the continent. The extraordinary session of the conference was organized to enable member states and stakeholders to deliberate on the challenges and prospects for ICT developments. And with that, we end today's bulletin of Africa Investor Today. Do log on to our website at africa-investor.com. For more news in this, tune in tomorrow. Bye.
Africa Investor Today is proudly brought to you in association with Petro SA and Afrexim Bank.